Listen to me closely. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for a moment that never comes. They wait for the perfect weather, the perfect economy, or the perfect feeling. But in 2026, the world doesn't wait. The speed of change is so fast that if you aren't intentionally moving forward, you are rapidly falling behind. I realized a long time ago that you don't need years to change your life. You need a concentrated window of absolute obsession. 6 months. 180 days. That is all it takes to go from where you are to where you've always wanted to be. But first, we have to talk about the Great Reset. The first 30 days of this plan are not about adding new things to your life, they are about subtraction. Most of you are failing because you are carrying too much luggage from a version of yourself that no longer exists. You are addicted to distractions that pay you in cheap dopamine while stealing your future wealth. I had to audit my life. I had to look at every habit, every friend, and every thought and ask, is this a bridge to my true version or is it an anchor? In this first month, we kill the average version of you. We stop the scrolling, we stop the complaining, we stop the half-hearted efforts. You have to realize that 2026 is a winner-takes-all economy. The gap between those who can focus and those who can't is now a canyon. If you can control your attention for 6 months, you can control your income, your health, and your destiny. This is about building a foundation of iron discipline. I don't care if you don't feel like it. I don't care if you're tired. Your feelings are the very things that kept you stuck for the last 5 years. We are replacing feelings with systems. I want you to embrace the solitude of the first month. People will ask where you went. They will ask why you aren't coming out anymore. Let them ask. You are in the lab. You are reinventing your identity. You are moving from a consumer to a producer. Remember, 180 days from now, you will be a stranger to the people who know you today. That is the price of transformation. We have cleared the wreckage. Your mind is sharp, your distractions are dead, and you have survived the first 30 days of the Great Reset. Now we move into the most critical phase of the 6-month plan, the acquisition of power. In 2026, power isn't just money in the bank. Power is the ability to solve problems that the rest of the world is too lazy or too untrained to handle. If you want to transform your life in the next 150 days, you have to stop being a generalist. Generalists are being replaced by AI every single hour. To win, you must become a high-value specialist. I want you to look at your current skill set. If your skills can be explained in a 30-second prompt to a machine, you are in danger. In months 2 and 3, we are building your hybrid skill stack. This is the combination of deep human intelligence and technical orchestration. I didn't just learn how to work, I learned how to leverage. I mastered the art of digital architecture. This means understanding how to use automation, how to communicate with high-ticket clients, and how to build systems that scale. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room, you just need to be the person who knows how to use the smartest tools. During this phase, I implemented the 4-hour deep work protocol. Most people work for 8 hours but only produce for 45 minutes because they are constantly checking emails and notifications. I flipped the script. I dedicated 4 hours every single morning to one singular, high-leverage task. No phone, no meetings, no noise. In 2026, focus is the new IQ. If you can stay in a state of flow for 4 hours, you will outproduce your competition by 10 times. This is where your financial engine starts to hum. You aren't just doing busy work, you are building assets. I want you to stop thinking about finding a job and start thinking about creating a node. A node is a point in the global network where value must pass through you. Whether it's a specialized service, a digital product, or a niche consultancy, you must own the platform. In month 3, your goal is to land your first high-leverage win. This isn't about a steady paycheck, it's about proof of concept. I took every dollar I made during this phase and I didn't spend it on a better car or a bigger house. I reinvested it into the engine. I bought better tools, I hired specialists, talent to handle the mundane tasks, and I bought back my time. You have to understand that the economy of 2026 rewards speed and iteration. Most people spend 3 months planning. I spend 3 days planning and 87 days executing. I move to a feedback loop model. I launch, I fail, I learn, and I pivot. If you are afraid to look stupid in month 2, you will never look like a genius in month 6. I embraced the cringe. I posted the content, I sent the cold emails, and I made the pitches. While others were waiting for perfection, I was busy collecting data from my failures. This is also the phase where we talk about financial engineering. In 2026, holding cash is a losing game. I learned how to move my earnings into productive assets. I looked for asymmetric risk, opportunities where the downside was small but the upside was 100 times. I stopped being a consumer of the economy and became a shareholder in it. By the end of month 4, you shouldn't just have more money, you should have a system that generates money regardless of whether you wake up at 6 a.m. or 10 a.m. This phase is exhausting. It is the long middle, where the initial excitement of the new year has worn off, and the finish line is still months away. This is where 90% of people quit. They see a little bit of progress and they get comfortable, or they see no progress and they get discouraged. But not you. You understand that compounding is back heavy. All the results are waiting for you in months 5 and 6. Your job right now is to keep the engine running, keep the focus sharp, keep the skills growing. We aren't just changing your bank account, we are rebuilding your DNA. You've made it to the final 60 days. By now, the people who knew you 6 months ago shouldn't even recognize your routine. You've killed the old habits, you've built a high-value skill stack, and your financial engine is finally turning. But this is the most dangerous part of the plan. Why? Because this is where success gravity kicks in. When you start winning, you get tempted to take your foot off the gas. You start thinking you've arrived. I'm here to tell you that in 2026, the finish line is just the starting blocks for the next level. In months 5 and 6, we move from execution to scaling. You've proven that your system works. Now we need to make it work without you. I realized that I couldn't reach 7 figures by being the smartest worker. I had to become the best orchestrator. I started looking at my day and identifying every task that was worth less than $100 an hour. I outsourced it. I used AI agents to handle my scheduling, my basic research, and my lead generation. I moved my focus entirely to high-value decision-making. In 2026, your wealth is determined by the quality of your decisions, not the quantity of your hours. But you can't make high-quality decisions if your hardware is broken. This is why, in the final phase, I became obsessed with biological optimization. Your body is the vessel for your ambition. If you are running on 4 hours of sleep and junk food, your brain is operating at 50% capacity. I treated my health like a corporate asset. I optimized my sleep cycles. I prioritized cognitive boosting nutrition, and I viewed exercise as a mental clearing session. In a high-speed world, the person with the most energy wins. I didn't just want to be rich, I wanted to have the vitality to enjoy it. I want to talk about the success plateau. Around month 5, you might feel a dip. The novelty of the change has worn off, and the massive results you're chasing might still feel a few inches out of reach. This is where most people self-sabotage. They celebrate too early or they quit because it's too hard. I stayed grounded by focusing on the perpetual engine. I stopped looking at the 6-month mark as an end date and started seeing it as my new baseline. I wasn't just doing a challenge, I was adopting a new identity. In these final 30 days, I focused on networking up. I realized that my environment was still too small for my new vision. I started putting myself in rooms, both digital and physical, where I was the poorest and dumbest person there. In 2026, your network is your early warning system for opportunities. One DM, one mastermind, or one high-level introduction can do more for your life than 3 years of hard work. I stopped being afraid to pay for access. I realized that free information is everywhere, but curated access is where the real wealth is hidden. As I reached the end of the 180 days, I took a moment to look back. I wasn't just making more money, I was a different person. I had a level of sovereignty that most people will never know. I no longer feared the headlines or the shifts in the economy because I knew I had the skills to adapt to anything. I had built a moat around my life. My final message to you is this: 2026 is going to pass, whether you take this plan seriously or not. 6 months from now, you will either have a life full of results or a life full of excuses. You have the blueprint. You have the strategy. And now, you have the vision. The Great Reset is over. It's time to step out of the shadows and show the world what you've built. The transformation isn't coming, it's already started. Now go finish the job.